A lot of businesses stand the risk of failing in this dispensation. So if you've never taken this statement seriously before, this is a time you want to be very critical about it. Businesses fall to their level of system build. Simply means that if there are crises or situation arises or there are external factors that are not in your favor, your business is only going to fall to the level of systems that you have built. But again, one is to build system, another is to get your team, empower your team to leverage your system to produce revenue generating activities. So this would mean two things. One, you're building the shock absorber of the business. And then the second thing is you're empowering the business to keep going. The fourth industrial revolution. We can't even lose sight of this. It keeps staring us in the face. You need to understand data, artificial intelligence, the trends in technology, automations, interconnectivity, and collaboration. So if you have already built system, this conversation is on how you can empower your team to leverage the systems you have built to increase your customer retention and grow your revenue by 25%. If this is of interest to you, you have to stick with me. Now I tell you a story, and with the story I can hopefully pass across to you my message. Now, the AI empowered service representative. There's something that's very interesting happened. A lot of them who probably registered for the program, knowing it to everyone, they've been interacting with AI without any human interface. All of those responses they've been getting is all about systems. So we've built smart systems around our academy and our business. Of course, we are always having that oversight. When there are red flags, we will jump into the conversation and do an oversight or an override on those red flags. So it means that systems are working. So we are leveraging technology to do the heavy lifting while we focus on things that are more strategic to lead us forward and to serve you better. So something happened. One of the professional who registered was prompted. So our smart system, our AI, detected some opportunities for collaboration. There is this conversation between AI and this particular professional. A proposition had been made to the professional on certain opportunities for collaboration, and the professional responded by saying, oh, at this moment I don't think that I would want to go ahead just yet. I would rather want to have an experience of what it is before I jump into advocacy. So for this particular client, it's about experiential first or advocating. AI responded and said, oh, that is very apt approach to this, and we do welcome your approach. However, we're here to onboard you whenever you're ready. My name is Sunshine and I am from the Engineering Academy, but we had to jump in at that point because we realized that there is a red flag. I pause there a bit. Every business, we need to understand you. When you build system, you must have an oversight over the systems that you build. For instance, there is going to be a time where technology will shut down. In fact, AI do shut down. I've had experiences. I've gone into long period research. I think I did mention that I went for a research of over 120 days. And at some point, the system really shut down. And if you don't have that sort of oversight, you are at the risk of creating more problem than it is you would solve. All right. So what happened with this particular client? We stepped in and saw that, okay, there's an objection. We gathered the data, threw it into our system, analyzed the data we have collected from this client, all of the interaction. First, we did a summary of the client from the first day to present day, and then analyze certain aspects of our communication and interaction with the client. We're able to project into the customer itself, understanding the personality of the customer, and then noting the preference. So this particular customer is a very unique one, right? There are preferences to communication, either emails or a DM or a text message. You can't call the client even though you have the number. So we already note. So these are things that, as a business owner, investing in systems allow you to support your team to doing better and be more productive. Analyzing those data, we've been able to project one into the customer personality, his behavioral, and his emotional state. So we know that the sort of conversation to have with him, the tone of communication is already registered, the preference is already registered. So for this sort of client, we would never sell to this client until he has a taste of what we are proposing to him. Now, understanding this client would mean that there would never be a time that this client would object to any of our service, because we now know how to serve him, the dynamic and how to approach when selling to him. And if you have a sales team, these are insights that are very important. There are clients or customers you would have to take samples to. right? For them to have a taste of the sample and then tell you what their preference lies and which they prefer, and make selling very easy. Before you know, we are reducing the number of objections. However, if we had not studied, collect the data, refined it, analyzed it, and started making interpretations to it, we would not be able to classify the client in order of preference, the pain, the style of communication, the tone of communication, the communication channels that is preferred, and every other data that we gathered. So it's very important that in this day and time, we must leverage what we call data. So data literacy for your team is the opportunity you have to reduce the percentage of objecting customers and the percentage of aggrieved customers. You can tell the impact of that on your brand. Your retention rate is going to increase. Sustainability is very sure for you. Your revenue generation is going to also increase, and all of this can increase by 25%. So data literacy becomes very important. It's not enough to invest in systems, build structure, invest in technology. You need to embody towards creating experiences for customers that would retain them and keep them coming back. They don't have to be data scientists. They need to just be able to identify what sort of data they have before them, understand data, analyze data, interpret data, and draw your conclusion from what you've done and be able to communicate data. The importance of doing this is one, you understand the sort of customer that you have before you, their preferences, their behavioral, their pain points, communication style and tonation. You can preempt when there's a red flag, so drawn out modalities to mitigate the sort of red flags. You can understand how to upsell and cross-sell to this customer. Tell me, if you understand all of this, how can you have a customer that is objecting and have an aggrieved customer? But for a start, you're going to cut that percentage down by 25%. And you can imagine what 25% of more clients has returned back to your brand. So data right now is the life of businesses, and data is at the core of creating the sort of experience that would keep customers coming back. So you see, being able to increase your chances of customer retention by 25% more than what you currently are doing will not only increase productivity and efficiency for your brand by 10%, but also is going to increase your revenue generation. It's going to increase your brand affinity. Your ratings are going to increase pretty much, and brand loyalty as well. And that's why you start having advocacy coming your way. Try this and tell me what you think. See you in my next video.